Happy Tuesday. I did a video a couple of days ago on Father's Day, which was Sunday, where I thought I was communicating information which was very beneficial, something that would be, would speak to the father. And I was especially discussing or trying to point out the importance of discipline as a father and trying to just, encourage the fathers to step up, to literally daddy up, as it were. And I posted this video on this platform, and it didn't get the reaction I was hoping it would. So kind of felt a bit discouraged. And then I began to think about what the commission is. I began to consider, why do I do what I do? And is it for the likes? Is it for the accolades? Is it for fame? Is it for the grand scheme of things, wealth? And it kind of reminded me of a story which I read in Rick Joyner's book called The Final Quest. It's about a guy called Angelo. And Rick Joyner, who's the author of this particular book, has this vision. And in the vision is taken into the heavens, and he sees a guy sat, exalted on a high throne in heaven. And he kind of recognizes this guy. So forgive me if I don't have the story correct, because it's been a while since I read the story. But it's if you haven't read the book, it's called The Final Quest by Rick Joyner. It's an absolutely great read. It's a very, very encouraging book. But anyway, so he sees this guy who is on a higher throne, and he recognizes the guy, and the Lord begins to narrate the story of this guy. He recognizes him as a beggar he once saw, and he's a guy called Angelo. And this guy, Angelo, was dealt a low blow by life itself. He was not only a beggar, but he was deaf as well. But there he was, exalted on a high throne in heaven. The Lord begins to narrate his life. The Lord had entrusted on him, on Angelo, one thing, one commission. His entire mission in life was just to lead one person to Christ. And that's all he did. He led one person to Christ. That is what the Lord gave to him. I say this to say this, that the only thing that God values is to be faithful in the thing that God has given you to do. We're all driven by these human desires to be liked, but at the end of the age, or at the end of all this, it's the high praises that really matter. It's knowing that we've been faithful to the one who has called us to do, or to run the race that he has marked out for us. It would really be a shame for us to be very successful at a thing that God never asked us to do in the first place. So it kind of put me in my place, and I began to think, okay, I'm doing this because I'm led to do this, or I feel led to do this. And that is the reason that I do what I do. The Bible talks about a sower who went to sow, and all he did is he sprinkled the seed. Regardless, some of it fell on hard ground, some of it was on the wayside, some of it in good ground. But the thing is that the sower went out to sow. And I'm just encouraging those who sometimes feel that you miss out on the accolades, you miss out on the likes, you miss out on the recognition. That is not important. The most important thing for me and you is to be able to be faithful to the commission. When Paul was set apart to be an apostle or a sent one by Jesus Christ, Ananias is the man who went to pray for him. And the Lord details to Ananias that I will show this man how much he must suffer for me. So part of his commission was actually to endure hardships. And if you look at the second book of Corinthians, Paul begins to glory in those sufferings. He began to talk about how much he's been flogged, arrested, shipwrecked. But the essence is that Paul became faithful in what he was commissioned to do. And that's the most important thing. And I say this as a final word, short as it may be. It would be a shame for us to be successful in the thing that God never asked us to do in the first place. So those were my thoughts today, and I just wanted to highlight the fact that you are accountable to God, and your reward is with him who sent you. Anyway, happy Tuesday, and God bless you. Thanks, bye.